Hi everyone, welcome in. Today I'm going to show you how to use the Polygon library with Cinema 4D and Arnold. So go up here to Plugins, down to C4D to Arnold, and open up the IPR window. Now at the moment we're not seeing anything, and that's because we need to add the lighting in. So go back to Plugins, and add in an Arnold sky. Now this isn't the type of sky that I want, so I want to go over here to Type and change to Physical Sky. And I'll just increase the intensity here so it's a bit brighter. And there we go. So let's create our material now. Go down to Create, go to Arnold, Surface, and add a standard surface. And then I'll just drag this onto the sphere. Okay, so before anything else, I'm going to go over here to the Texture tab and make sure that my projection is changed and set to UVW mapping. Now I'm going to open up my material, so double click that. And I'm going to change the color here to black just so that the effects that I'm going to be adding will be more obvious. Now we're going to be loading the maps not in here but through the network editor. So I'll just open this up. And let's load our texture maps in. So these are the maps that I'm going to be using for this tiles material. So we've got the color, displacement 16-bit, gloss, normal 16-bit, and reflection. And then I'll just rearrange these so that they appear more organized. The gloss, normals, and displacement I'll put down here. So we're actually going to be starting with the displacement map. So go over here to the nodes and load in this normal displacement node. I'm then going to take the output from my displacement 16-bit and load it into the displacement input here, and then take the output here and plug it into Arnold displacement. Now as you can see, we're getting this very odd looking effect, and that's because we need to change some parameters. So going over here to the sphere, I'm going to right click this and add another tag in here, this Arnold parameters tag. And the first thing I'll do is go over to subdivision and change the type to Cat Clark, and then the iterations to, let's say, 3. Now going back to the displacement tab, I want to change the overall height because it's very strong. So let's change it to 3 centimeters and see how it looks. Okay, it's not looking much better, and that's because we need to change another parameter here called bounds padding. So I'll set this to a value of 1. And there we go. So it's appearing correctly, however, it's obviously way too strong at the moment. So I'm going to change this down to a value of 0.5 centimeters. And there we go. So that's looking a lot better now. So if I was to zoom in a bit here, you can also see that the effect itself is looking a little rounded, aside from being like way too strong at the moment. So the way that we correct for that is by clicking this right here, Auto Bump. And then that gives the edges a much more crisp appearance. So I think a value of 0.5 is actually okay for the moment there. So let's go back to our editor. Now we can make some further adjustments here by clicking on this node and changing the scale here. So just in case we feel that the effect is a bit too strong, I can change the scale to say 0.5. And then it will go down to a much more reasonable level, because we don't want the tiles to stick out too much. Might even take it down further to 0.3. Okay, and that's it for the displacement. So let's plug our normals in. So go over here to Surface, and we want to load in this normal map. So I'll take the output from my normal here, plug it in, go to Input, and then take the output here and plug it in. Go down to Geometry and Normal. Now if something odd happens and it looks like this, it's just because the IPR needs to be refreshed. So I usually just close it down and open it up again. And there we go. Now it's working correctly. Okay, so the other maps that we're going to load in are going to be the gloss and reflection, and since they need to be inverted, I'm going to go over here to color, get this color correct node, and then make sure to hit the invert check mark there. Once that's done, I'll just copy this node and paste it so that we have two of them. Then I'll just take the gloss output, plug it into this color correct node, go to the input, and then output into main, and then specular, and then we want to plug this into the roughness. Okay, so gloss through the invert node into roughness. Next, we take the output from the reflection, plug that into the input, and then take the output here, and we want to plug this into the specular color. So the reflection, color correct node, and then into specular. And if I zoom in a bit here, we can see the maps are working correctly now. Certain areas are more shiny and others are more rough. And of course, the last map that we load in is the color. So I'll take the output here, drag it in, and go to base, and then plug it into the color channel. And there we go. That's it for this material. It's pretty simple. And now another adjustment I might make is to go back to the material editor here and just adjust the index of refraction. So if I drag this up, you can see it's becoming more shiny overall. And it's just a matter of refining it till it looks correct for your scene. And that's it. Thanks for watching.